The silent war of the jungle was quiet. Too quiet. Sergeant Cole Anders stepped through the thick alien leaves, his boots barely making a sound. The air was heavy with fog, and every branch felt like it was watching him. His breathing was slow. His hands never left his rifle. He wasn't here to fight a war. He was here to find a lost girl, Princess Lyra of the Valeri Empire. Young, smart, and the only child of Queen Selira, had vanished 3 days ago when her royal shuttle crashed. On the death world known as Virex 9, no signal, no survivors. Only one emergency beacon had blinked for a moment. Then silence. The Galactic Council had sent search ships. None returned. The jungle swallowed them. That's when Earth sent Cole, not because he was the best, but because he was quiet, fast, deadly when needed, but calm when it mattered. A ghost from the Deathworlders. A soldier trained to survive anywhere, even on planets like this. He knelt near a broken root. Their tiny footprints, small, light, not armored, not military. Maybe hers. Cole touched the print gently, then stood. His face was calm, but inside, a storm began to build. He had one mission. Bring her home alive, not far away in the stars. News spread like wildfire. Princess missing. Royal shuttle destroyed. Rebels suspected in kidnapping plot. Queen Selira's silent tensions rise between Valari and Council forces. But the truth was deeper, darker. This was not a loud war, not with bombs. This was a silent war, a game of shadows. And the human soldier walking through the jungle was now part of it. Hours passed. Cole climbed a ridge and saw smoke in the distance, thin, faint, almost invisible. A small fire, maybe a signal, maybe a trap. He moved without sound, using the trees for cover. As he got closer, he saw something strange. Not a camp, not a rebel outpost dot. It was a broken escape pod. Twisted metal, burned wiring, royal symbols half melted on the side. He scanned quickly. Blood dark purple, not human, not fresh, but not. Old either dot, and then he saw it. A scarf, small, silver with a royal emblem. His eyes, narrow dot. She had survived dot inside the jungle. Something else moved. Large claws scraped against bark. Black eyes watched from above. A Zarnith Beast, one of the deadliest predators of Virex 9, had picked up the same trail. Cole had found Dot. It was hunting the same target. But Cole didn't know yet. He followed the path away from the pod-through vines, mud and narrow caves. The ground sloped downward into a dark canyon. Dot, then he heard it. Not a scream, not a cry, just a soft hum. Like a child trying not to cry. A trembling sound echoing in the rocks. He stopped. He slowly placed his rifle down and called out in a calm voice, "Lyra?" Silence. "Princess Lyra, I'm here to help." Still nothing. But the humming stopped. Cole lowered himself and crawled through a narrow tunnel. On the other side, in a small cave lit by glowing moss, he saw her. She was sitting with her knees to her chest, dirt on her face, a cut above her eye, her silver dress torn. But her eyes, bright violet, were wide open, locked on him like a frightened animal. She held a sharp piece of metal in her hand, like a blade. "I'm not here to hurt you," Cole said softly. He took off his helmet. "I'm Cole, from Earth." Her voice was quiet. Are you real?" "Yes," he said. "I'm here to take you home." She didn't move. Behind them, the jungle rustled. Cole's eyes sharpened. He slowly picked up his rifle and motioned her to stay low. The Zarnith Beast had caught up. A soldier in the shadows. The rain hit like soft needles. Cold, sharp, quiet. Sergeant. Cole Anders walked through the jungle of Virex 9 like a ghost. His boots left no trail. His face was calm, his eyes always scanning. He had been dropped alone, far from the crash zone. No drones, no backup, no noise. This mission needed silence, because somewhere out here was a child, a girl, a princess, and someone else didn't want her found. Cole moved under thick leaves and stepped around a fallen tree. His gear was basic, just a survival rifle, a scanner, and a small field pack, but he didn't need much. He had trained in Earth's dead zones, places where predators hunted at night and the land itself tried to kill you. X9 wasn't home, but it felt familiar. He stopped suddenly. On the ground, a shredded cloth, white with silver thread. He crouched. His fingers brushed the edge. It had the symbol of the Valari royal family. A small cut on the edge showed it. Had been torn probably during a fall. Still fresh, he muttered. She was close. He tapped his wrist scanner. A faint signal appeared. Faint, but moving. Not a beast. Not a drone. Too light. A survivor? He followed it. The trees grew tighter, thicker. Every few steps, he had to cut vines aside. But he didn't complain. He didn't stop. Cole remembered. Something years ago, his sister's voice, calling from the woods back on Earth. She had wandered off. He had found her, crying, scared. He had carried her home. She never forgot. Another girl was lost. This time, he would not be too late. He reached a slope and looked down. There, half hidden in a bush, was a makeshift shelter, built from shuttle metal and plant branches. Smoke rose from a small fire inside. Someone had survived, but someone else had noticed too. Cole heard the distant sound of leaves rustling, heavy, careful steps. Not a soldier. Not an animal. Something hunting. He moved fast, staying low, circling wide. Behind the shelter, he saw it. Long claw marks on a nearby tree. Deep, fresh, still wet with sap. Zarnith was nearby. A deadly jungle beast. Fast, smart, silent. And it was watching the shelter. Cole took position in the trees, eyes scanning, rifle steady. He didn't see the girl yet. Was she inside? Or had she already run? A twig snapped behind him. He turned instantly, rifle up, but it wasn't the beast. It was her. A girl stood in the shadow of a tree. Small, pale, silver-torn dress. Dirt on her arms. Scratches on her legs. Her eyes, bright violet, were wide with fear. She held a sharp stick. "Stay back," she shouted. Cole lowered his weapon. Slowly. "Princess Lyra," he said calmly. "I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to take you home." She didn't move. "How do I know you're real?" she whispered. Cole unlatched his helmet and dropped it on the ground. "I'm real," he said. "And you're not safe here?" She looked at him for a long time. Her hands were shaking. Her feet were bleeding. Finally, she took one small step forward. "Did my mother send you?" she asked. "Yes," he said. "And Earth sent me too." Her voice cracked. "I thought I was going to die here." "Not today," Cole said, holding out his hand, and for the first time in days. She reached out. Fingers touched fingers. Hope returned. But deep in the jungle, the Zarnith smelled blood. It turned its head toward the sound and began to move. Fast. A princess and the Cadians beast. The jungle didn't wait. As soon as Princess Lyra took Cole's hand, something changed in the air. The leaves stopped moving. The birds fell silent. Even the wind seemed to hold its breath. Cole's eyes narrowed. He looked over Lyra's shoulder. "Run," he said calmly. Lyra blinked. "What?" "Run now." A low growl echoed through the trees. Then a branch cracked, and the beast stepped out. It was huge. The Zarnith predator stood over 2 meters tall. It had 6 long legs, thick claws, and glowing yellow eyes. Its dark fur looked wet, like oil. Fangs hung from its mouth, curved like knives. It didn't roar. It didn't need to. It was built to kill silently. Lyra froze. Her hand trembled in Cole's grip. He pushed her behind a large tree. Stay low. Don't scream. She nodded, eyes wide with terror. Cole raised his rifle. One shot. Straight into the beast's shoulder. It barely flinched. The Zarnath rushed forward. Cole fired again, this time aiming for the eye. Missed. The beast leapt. Cole rolled left, shouting, "Lyra, move!" She ran into the thick brush, covering her mouth to stay quiet. The Zarnath turned toward her, but Cole threw a flash grenade. A sharp burst of light exploded beside the beast, blinding it for a second. That was all he needed. Cole ran at full speed, slamming into the beast's side, stabbing it with a combat knife. It howled and threw him off like a toy. He hit the ground hard. Blood poured from its cut on his side, but he didn't stop. Lyra hid behind a fallen log, trying not to cry. She heard the beast's growls, Cole's grunts, the sound of claws and gunfire, and then silence, terrifying silence. She peeked up. The Zarnath was still standing, but barely. It wobbled. Bleeding from its chest and neck. Behind it, Cole stood, shaking. His face was cut. His armor was broken. His knife was stuck deep in the beast's ribs. He grabbed a large rock and threw it with all his strength. The rock hit the knife, handle driving it deeper. The beast roared one final time, then collapsed. Dead. Lyra ran to him. "You're hurt," she said, holding his arm. "I've had worse," Cole muttered, dropping to one knee. You fought that thing with just a knife." He gave a small smile. "Birth training." She helped him sit against a tree. Her hands were small but firm. She took out a cloth and wiped the blood from his forehead. "You could have run," she said softly. "You could have left me. I don't leave people behind." Lyra stared at him. No one had ever spoken to her like that. Not like a princess. Just like a person who mattered. She looked down. "My father was killed by rebels," she said. "That's why I was being moved." Cole looked at her with soft eyes. "I'm sorry. I was so scared. I thought I'd never see my mom again." "You will," Cole said firmly. "I'll get you there, no matter what." That night, they sat together by a small fire in a hidden cave. Cole stitched his wound while Lyra handed him supplies. "Does it hurt?" she asked. "Not as much as that thing's breath." She giggled. It was the first time she had laughed since the crash. Cole looked at her. "You're brave," he said. "No, I'm not," she replied. "I just didn't want to die alone." "You're not alone anymore," he said quietly. She leaned her head on his shoulder. And for the first time, she felt safe. But far above them, in the sky, a cloaked ship hovered in silence. Inside, cold voice spoke. "They're still alive. Should we end them?" Another voice asked. "No," said the leader. "Let the jungle finish what we started." But they didn't know the jungle had already lost, and Earth's ghost was still moving. Hunter in the dark night fell like a blanket over the jungle. Thick, heavy, silent. Inside a narrow cave, lit by glowing moss, Princess Lyra curled beside the fire. Her eyes stayed open, watching the flickering light. She hadn't slept in days. Sergeant Cole Anders sat at the entrance, back straight, rifle across his lap. He didn't speak much. He just watched. "Why don't you sleep?" she asked softly. He answered without turning. Because something out there might try to kill us. Lyra pulled her knees closer. You really think so? I know so. He wasn't being dramatic. RX-9 wasn't a jungle. It was a hunting ground, Dot, and something had already caught their scent. Earlier that evening, Cole had cleaned the wound on his side while Lyra helped with the bandage. She wasn't used to blood, but she didn't look away. Why do you keep helping me? She asked. You're not safe alone. I'm just a princess. You're a person, he said. That's enough. That was the first time she smiled. But the moment didn't last, because just outside the cave, something was watching. A small branch cracked. Cole's eyes narrowed. He stood up and looked toward the sound. It wasn't far, maybe 30 meters. Stay inside, he said. Lyra nodded, crawling behind a rock wall. Dot another sound, closer. Then, a low rumble. The Zarnath had returned, larger than any creature Lyra had seen before. 6 legs, sharp claws, black fur that shimmered like liquid. It moved like a shadow. Its eyes glowed yellow, and it was hungry. Cole didn't panic. He didn't breathe hard. He simply stepped forward, rifle raised. He only had 1 clip left. This fight had to end fast. Zarnath stepped into the cave mouth. Cole didn't move. Come on, he muttered. The beast growled, lowered its head, and charged. Cole fired 3 shots. 1 hit its shoulder, 1 missed, the 3rd hit its leg. But the beast didn't stop. It leapt. Cole dove aside, landing hard. Pain shot through his ribs. The beast crashed into the fire, sending sparks flying. Lyra screamed from the corner. The Zarnath turned toward her, but Cole shouted, "Hey!" and slammed the flare against the cave wall. A burst of red light blinded the beast. He ran forward and drove, his knife deep into its side. The creature roared, claws slashing wildly. 1 claw caught Cole's chest. Blood sprayed. He stumbled. The beast pounced again. This time, it would finish him. But Lyra moved. She grabbed a jagged piece of metal and threw it with all her strength. It hit the beast in the eye. The Zarnath turned just for a second. Cole used that second. He pulled his last round from his boot and jammed it into the beast's open wound. Then he kicked it away hard. Boom. A sharp, close explosion. Not enough to destroy it, but enough to drop it. The beast let out a dying breath and collapsed. Smoke filled the cave. Lyra crawled over to Cole, her hands shaking. You're hurt badly. He leaned against the wall, face pale. I'm fine. You're not fine. Okay, he whispered. I'm mostly fine. She pressed a seal patch over his chest. Her hands trembled, but she didn't stop. You saved me again, she whispered. He gave a weak smile. That's kind of my job? Lyra held his hand. Promise me you won't leave me. I already promised. Outside, the jungle was quiet again, but far above, in the sky, ships moved. Someone had noticed the fight, someone who wanted her dead, and now they were sending something worse. The false flag Trapesun rose behind the trees, but there was no warmth. Sergeant Cole Anders and Princess Lyra walked through the dense jungle, moving slowly. Cole limped from his injuries. Lyra supported him with 1 arm, even though she was weak. 2. They had survived the beast. But the real danger was just beginning. They reached a clearing by mid-morning. Cole stopped and pulled out a small metal disc, the emergency beacon he had activated the night before. It blinked green. Extraction team should be here soon, he said. Lyra looked up at the sky. From my mother's fleet? Should be. But Cole didn't sound sure. He didn't trust Easy, and his gut was telling him something was off. The birds were too quiet, the jungle too still. Then they heard it, A ship. Low engines. Big. Lyra smiled with relief. They found us? The silver ship broke through the clouds and hovered over the trees. It looked like a royal transport, shiny, clean, marked with Valeri symbols. It landed gently. The ramp dropped, but Cole didn't move. Something's wrong, he whispered. 3 armored figures stepped out wearing royal colors, but their faces were hidden. No salute. No medics. Just rifles. Cole stepped in front of Lyra. One of the men shouted, "Step away from the girl." Lyra blinked. What? Cole's hand moved toward his rifle. Another soldier stepped forward, lowering his voice. "We'll take her now, human. Your part is done." "No ID," Cole said coldly. "No signal code. And you didn't even say her title." The man smirked. "You're not needed anymore." Then he raised his weapon, but Cole moved faster. 1 shot. Center mass. The fake soldier dropped instantly. The others fired back, but Cole was already rolling behind a tree. "Lyra, down!" he yelled. She dove behind a rock. Cole popped up and fired again. 2 shots. 2 more enemies down, but 1 man remained hidden in the ship. He stepped out slowly, holding something worse than a weapon. A detonator. "Drop it, Earthman." The man growled. 1 click, and we all burn. Cole didn't blink. He raised his rifle. "You won't do it," he said calmly. "Try me." Behind him, Lyra stood quietly holding a sharp shard of ship metal. She crept up behind the enemy and swung. The man turned too late. She slashed across his hand. He screamed. Cole took the shot. Clean. Fast. The last traitor dropped. The detonator hit the ground. Harmless. Lyra stood over the body, shaking. I didn't mean to." Cole placed a hand on her shoulder. "You did good," he said. Her eyes filled with tears. "They weren't here to rescue us." "No," he said. "They were here to erase you." Cole searched the ship. No royal codes, no backup signal, no link to the Queen's fleet. "They disguised the ship," he said. "Mercenaries. Probably paid by someone in the council." Lyra sat on a rock, looking down. "All this just to stop me from going home?" Hugh nodded. "You're the future. Someone wants to rewrite it." She clenched her fists. "They tried to kill me. They failed." She looked up at him, eyes shining. "Because of you." Cole picked up the beacon and resent a new signal, this time encrypted and marked Earth Priority Alpha. "Real help's coming now," he said. "We'll be ready." Far above the planet, in deep space, a dark fleet floated quietly. 1 admiral leaned forward, watching the feed. "Send in the kill teams," he ordered. "No mistakes this time." A crew member turned, nervous. "Sir," Earth just answered. "The beacon." The admiral froze. "What?" "Earth fleet is on the move." The admiral's voice shook. "Cancel everything. Pull back. Now." But it was too late. The humans were already coming. The long walk to dawn, the fake rescue ship burned. Behind them, smoke curled up in. "I don't want to be a queen," she said. "Not if it means being alone, or just a tool for power." Cole looked away. "Then change it." She blinked. "Change the throne?" He nodded. "Change what it means." "You've already changed." "What it means to be royal to me." She didn't speak. She just sat beside him, and they watched the rain outside the bunker door. The storm passed by morning. The sky cleared. Cole limped to the edge of the tree line and activated his beacon. One more time. A high-pitched ping echoed through the clouds. He waited. Then a low hum. He turned to Lyra. "It's here." She ran forward and looked up. The clouds parted. A massive dark shape broke through the atmosphere. Sleek, silent, deadly. A Terran dropship, black and marked with Earth silver. Crest descended. Through the light, wings spreading like a bird of war. The trees bent under the force of its engines. Cole gave a single nod of approval. "Third Fleet," he said. They came fast. Lyra stared at the ship with wide eyes. "It's beautiful." "No," Cole said with a grin. "It's dangerous." The ship touched down. 2 humans in armored suits stepped out. Not flashy, not loud, just efficient. "Sergeant Anders," one said. "Orders confirmed. Package secure?" Cole pointed at Lyra. Alive, injured, tired, but stronger than she. "Looks." The soldier saluted her. "Ma'am," he said respectfully. Lyra smiled shyly. "Thank you for coming. We don't leave our own behind," the soldier said. As Cole stepped toward the ship, his knees buckled. Lyra caught him. He chuckled weakly. "Told you I shouldn't stop walking." She held him tightly. "You're not walking anymore. You're going home." They both stepped inside the ship together. In space above, 6 Earth warships dropped out of FTL one by one. Silent, shadowed, ready. The galaxy didn't know it yet. But Earth was awake. And someone was about to pay. "Thank him, Mom. He saved me." The Terran ship landed on the royal platform. It was surrounded by Valari guards, medics, drones, and reporters. Flags of the 12 star systems hung in the air. The Queen stood at the center, eyes locked on the ship's ramp. She hadn't spoken in days, not since her daughter vanished. Now she was waiting to see if the rumors were true. The ship hissed open. Metal clicked. And then footsteps. First came a tall human soldier, limping but standing straight. His armor was torn, his face scarred, his left arm bandaged, but his grip on the girl's hand was steady. Behind him walked Princess Lyra. She wore a long gray cloak. Her royal dress was shredded, but her head was high. Her face was dirty, bruised, and marked with survival, but her eyes were stronger than ever. Gasps rose from the crowd. Cameras zoomed in. "Lyra!" Someone whispered. The Queen took a step forward. Lyra let go of Cole's hand. She ran. Her bare feet slapped the floor as she raced across the platform. When she reached her mother, she threw her arms around her waist and cried. The Queen dropped to her knees. She held her daughter like she would never let go. No words. Just shaking. Just breath. Just tears. The crowd stood silent. Across 1,000 systems. The moment was broadcast. People watched from homes, cities, ships, and stations. Everyone saw the girl return. Everyone saw the hug. But what happened next changed everything. Lyra pulled back slightly. She turned and pointed. She pointed at one man. At the quiet human soldier standing alone. The Queen followed her hand and stared. Lyra spoke clearly, her voice soft, but carried by every mic and every channel. "Thank him, Mom. He saved me." The words echoed. In the palace, on ships. In hearts. All over the galaxy. Queen rose. She walked toward the soldier. Every camera followed her. Every leader watched. Cole stood still. He didn't salute. He didn't kneel. He just waited. When the Queen reached him, she stopped. She looked him in the eye. "You protected my daughter." "Yes," Cole said quietly. "You bled for her." He nodded. "You brought her home." He didn't answer that. He didn't need to. The Queen took off one of her golden rings. She pressed it into his hand. "From this day forward," she said, "you are honored by my house, by my world, and by my crown." Cole looked at the ring, then back at her. "Thank you, ma'am, but I didn't do it for titles." "Why then?" He looked over at Lyra, now standing taller than ever. For her. That moment was remembered for generations. The hug. The finger pointing. The words. "Thank him, Mom. He saved." Those 7 words redefined how the galaxy saw Earth, not as monsters, not just warriors, Not just Deathworlders, but as protectors. As family. As the ones who would walk into fire, not for gold, not for power, but to bring one child home. Final narration line. YouTube voiceover style. And sometimes, the smallest act of kindness from a quiet human is the moment that shakes the stars. Story complete.